Welcome to RAM English Test Prep. In this video, we will know all about the listening section of the IELTS exam. So let's begin. As we know, the format of the IELTS exam involves 4 sections: the listening section, the reading section, the writing section, and the speaking section. Both listening and reading sections assess your receptive skills of English language, the listening skill and the reading skill. And both writing and speaking sections assess your productive skills of English language, the writing skill and the speaking skill. The listening section presents you with 40 questions to be answered in 40 minutes. The listening section involves 4 parts. In part 1, you'll listen to recording 1 that involves 10 questions. In part 2, you'll listen to recording 2 that involves 10 questions. In part 3, you'll listen to recording 3 that involves 10 questions. In part 4, you'll listen to recording 4 that involves 10 questions. So the total number of questions is 40 questions. When it comes to the time allotted for the listening section of the IELTS exam, first, you have 30 minutes as testing time, in which you respond to the listening questions and you write your answers on the question paper. After that, you're given only 10 minutes to transfer your answers onto the answer sheet, which looks like this. So, the total time of the listening section is 40 minutes. Now, let's have an idea about the recording in each part of the listening exam. First, in recording 1, you'll listen to a conversation in a social context. For example, a conversation between a hotel receptionist and a guest who is trying to make room reservation. Another example, a conversation between a company representative and a young man who is asking about a job opportunity at the company. Also, you can listen to a conversation on the phone between a hospital receptionist and a patient who is trying to get an appointment to see a doctor. In recording 2, you'll listen to a monologue in a social context. For example, a tour guide speaking to a group of tourists. Another example, an announcer at Carrefour telling customers about new offers. Also, you can listen to a sales representative speaking to a group of new clients about the new facilities built in a club. In recording number 3, you'll listen to a conversation between up to 4 people in an academic context. For example, a university professor with a student discussing a certain assignment. Another example, 2 university students discussing their performance after taking an exam. Also, you may listen to a conversation between a lecturer and 3 students discussing how to prepare for an upcoming exam. Finally, in recording number 4, you listen to a monologue in an academic context, and in this case, we can only imagine a university professor giving a lecture to a group of students. And for the 4 recordings, you have to know that each recording is heard only once. In other words, they are not repeated. Also, they may include a range of accents. First, the British accent, which is the most common accent used in the 4 recordings. Also, you may find Australian accent, New Zealand accent, American accent, or Canadian accent. Before discussing all types of questions in the listening section of the IELTS exam, let's have an idea about how the IELTS runs questions with recordings. First, he will give you some time, just enough to quickly read the questions. Then, the recording starts, and as you listen, you answer. It's very important for you to know that the order of questions is designed so that answers in each recording appear in the same order of questions given. Now, it's time to know all types of listening questions. The 40 questions in the listening section of the IELTS exam have many types. First, the completion questions, which in turn have 5 types, which are: number 1, completion of notes, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper. Number 2, completion of a form, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper. Number 3, completion of a summary, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper. Number 4, completion of a table, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper. Number 5, completion of a flow chart, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper. The second type of listening questions is labeling, which may be labeling of a map, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper, or labeling of a plan, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper. Also, we have labeling of a diagram, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper. The third type of listening questions is multiple choice questions, in which he may ask you to choose one choice, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper. Or he may ask you to choose 2 choices, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper. Also, you may be required to choose 3 choices, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper. The fourth type of listening questions is matching, in which he asks you to match items in a list of answer choices with items in a list of questions. You may see both lists having the same number of items, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper. Or you may find the number of items different, so the answer choices are more than items in the question list, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper. The fifth type of listening questions is short answer questions, in which he asks you simple questions that need short answers you can get from the recording, and here is a sample of how it looks on the test paper. So now you should have 40 answers, with each correct one deserving 1 mark. The question now is how correct answers are converted to a listening score out of 9. Simply, IELTS has provided us with a table which shows how correct answers are converted to listening band score out of 9. And here is the table. For example, if you get 33 correct answers, you will have a listening score of 7.5. So in this video, we have fully understood the format of the listening section of the IELTS exam and also how the listening score is calculated. In the next video, we will have a chance to know tips and tricks on how to best deal with each type of IELTS listening questions. So, subscribe if you are new to the channel to get more information about the IELTS exam and how to best prepare for it. Also, you may be interested in knowing more about other international exams like TOEFL, PTE, OET, GRE, GMAT, and SAT. As always, before we say goodbye, if you have found value in this video, give it a like, share it with friends and colleagues, and do not forget to hit the little bit icon so you'll be notified every time we post a new video. Thanks for watching, and let's meet again.